Okay, we're gonna walk the forum a little bit. Here is the Arch of Titus. And while we're walking down the forum, I want to talk about Augustus. We just went to Augustus' house. He's probably the most important emperor. He was the first emperor. Julius Caesar was not an emperor. Julius Caesar wasn't an emperor because he was a dictator. Whereas Augustus, his heirs would continue to rule. That's why he's considered to be emperor. So all this is coming from watching the TV series Rome, which is an excellent TV series. But if I'm making a mistake, forgive me or correct me on the screen, future self. So Julius Caesar, he took over Rome with an army, and the people loved him, but he was brutally murdered by his enemies and his friends. And he only had one blood heir, and that was a son he got with Cleopatra. But when Julius Caesar died, was killed, that son with Cleopatra was only a boy. So Augustus, who was an adopted nephew, he proclaimed himself rightful heir and tried to take over. And then there was Mark Antony, who said that he's loyal to Caesar, and he tried to take over. In the end, Augustus, who was only 18, ended up victorious, and he defeated Mark Antony. Mark Antony married Cleopatra, I believe, but he was cornered in Egypt, and Mark Antony and Cleopatra committed suicide when they were cornered by Augustus's army and ships. And I think they killed Julius Caesar's son. So Augustus had one of the longest period of rule. He probably had the longest. I believe his era was called Pax Romana because it was such a peaceful and victorious era. He also had a problem with heirs because I think he only got a daughter, and wow, it's really surreal walking in the forum. Look at this, all these buildings. So I think he only had a daughter. So his heir happened to be Tiberius, the husband of his daughter. And Tiberius wasn't as strong and smart as Augustus. So like the golden age for Roman rule was during Augustus' time. Another arch. I'll put down which arch that is. Look at this. This is incredible. Just walking down this path. This would have been like Main Street, downtown Rome. They'll have shops here, churches or temples. Just imagine all these buildings, new and occupied. Incredible. Look at this. So the month of July is named after Julius Caesar. And then Augustus did the same thing. He changed one of the months to be Augustus or August. And Augustus wasn't born as Augustus. His original name escapes me, but I'll write it on the screen. And he was probably the best emperor, smartest emperor, if not the best. Speaking of Augustus, this is the Arch of Augustus. Where is the arch? So it looked like this, but it's in ruins. This was Temple of Romulus, a child of this emperor, Maxentius. So he built this temple for his son who died in childbirth, or died in childhood. And then it was later turned into a church. But a lot of churches, early churches, look like this. They might have been. This might have been a prototype for other churches. The Temple of Vesta, right here.